Alright. You know, I was literally about to start talking about 4 different times before I unmuted myself just now. And the coughs just keep coming. I don't know what the deal is. This cough is ruthless. I don't appreciate it. I can't do nothing about it. I've done all I can. I've drank so much acetaminophen over the past couple of days, you'd think I was Eminem in 8 Mile. Dude, I can't. There's just too much. There's too much coughing. I did a whole spoonful of honey. I did that old trick. That doesn't seem to be doing much. You know, it is just my luck where I start streaming, a thing that uses the voice, probably more than anything else I've ever engaged my voice in my life. And I just get sick with the most persistent respiratory virus or bacterial infection, whatever it wants to call itself, that I've ever had. It's just not going away. It's been like a week at this point, week and a half maybe. I'm gonna have to be particularly quick on the draw with my mute key today. Oh boy. So today, I figure, you know, it only makes sense to continue the off-screen, not the off-screen, the end-screen progress that we started last time. And I've tried out a new thing. We're gonna see how it works out. Some people might notice it right away. Well, you're gonna notice that I have nothing visible on screen right now. There we go. I have a little box over to the side. What could that be? It's a chat box. I'm testing it out. So I'm gonna put this over here so it's not empty, just so I can see if it's working properly. And there it is. There's a little dude. There's me. It'll probably look better with longer messages, but I don't have an overlay. Haven't tested that out yet, but I am testing this stuff around. Moving assets around. Got my follower notifications over there. In the bottom left now, I got a chat box on the right side, and it's covering up my layers because I don't think people really care about layers. So we'll just see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, back to the, I guess we just go back to the freaking screen here. Okay. Where's my liner? I have it broken up into 4,000 different pieces. This is here. Wait, I have the sketch broken up? Oh my good lord. I've broken everything. Alright, so this is not what hands look like. Or at least they shouldn't. Pardon me. I don't know if I muted that cough in time. There's a lot more of them to mute in my defense. Just should be improving. Has been doing the opposite. Where is this one? It's here. Now I have to look up what a hand looks like from this angle. Nah, I bet I can wing it. I normally do. Let's just do that. Yeah, let's just do. See, it's fine. You could just... People are always telling you to use reference. You don't gotta. I'm here to tell you first and foremost, just wing it, dude. It'll probably be good. Maybe. The heck is this Zelda song? I asked for Xenoblade music. So after we do this end screen, I only got a few more assets that I have in mind to make for the stream. Outside of the non-essentials, like an overlay, I don't know if I particularly even want one of those yet. What do Knuckles look like? Alright, that's what they look like. What does Knuckles look like? I mean, Echidna, probably. Also, nothing like an Echidna, I just want to point that out. Tails kind of resembles a fox. Sonic, sure, he's got hedgehog-esque qualities. Knuckles, what the heck is that? That is not an Echidna. I have arrived. I am the moment. Welcome in Stove. Have you noticed something different about my stream? New haircut, maybe? New chat box, perhaps? I'm trying stuff out. He walks away from the Sonic cover. No, it's fine. It was going to end anyway. I was just talking to myself, as it were. An Eggman certainly does look like an egg. That I can confirm. I do see the on-screen chat. There it is. I don't know if I like the idea yet, but I did want to try it at least once. Yeah, you'll figure out your steez. I think it's the kind of thing where it would benefit from having a custom widget or something, but I don't know how to get those or make those. So for now, I just have the box. He's just gonna be really gripping this key, I suppose. Is this a good place for the hand? I think it's a good place for the hand. Excuse me. It never leaves, this cough, I swear to God. I've had so much drugs, and it's just not going away. I was told by Big Pharma that they would cure all my ailments. Here I am, with an ailment. Hello? You gotta rest, man. I did that for like a couple of days. It is just my luck, though, that the day, or maybe like the first couple of weeks rather, that I want to start streaming, I get just the most persistent respiratory infection that I've had in a while. That would happen. Oh yeah, speaking of not resting, when do you wanna when do you wanna do Total War? Because I was reading up on some of the multiplayer options and they seem pretty neat. They have campaigns like explicitly devoted to multiplayer. I'll be able to hop on immediately, but I have this evening clear, so we can just sit with it as long as we want. That sounds good to me. I guess you could just let me know then. I've pretty much got nothing going on. As you can imagine, I found the time to start a Twitch stream when I don't have a job, so you know, I got nothing but time. Figure we just jump into an Immortal Empires campaign and off opium. Yeah, why not? No, this is gonna be a fun. Why did I put so much foreshortening into this pose? I'm so annoying to myself. I did do myself the due diligence of reading a tier list of the races, and like all of the goblin-y orc type races are apparently just bottom tier. But you know what? I'm fine with that. That's more my speed anyway. That's probably where they belong. Just realized if I'm dwarves and you're greenskins, we're going to immediately be contending for land. Oh no! Oh no! Unless you want to form the strangest alliance of all time, we might just have to if we want that campaign to go on for more than like 15 minutes. For one of us, anyway. And I'm not confident I would come out on top of that one. No, what do you mean? I told you. My race is low tier. I didn't see what the dwarves were. Yeah, dwarves probably are too. They always are. They usually... We do say we seem to share that trend. I don't know, there was an MMO I played. It's called Drakensang, or Drakensang. I don't know, it's German, so I don't really know the pronunciation. It was a free-to-play MMO. And the dwarf engineers in that game were pretty freaking sick. They could make turrets and stuff. It was crazy. Dwarves are in every fantasy property ever, so that someone could be the most neglected. Yeah, usually. If it's not the dwarves, it's the orcs, and if it's not the orcs, it's both of them beating each other up. Do I like this? Do I? Over in the corner competing for last place, just fighting for scraps, man. The elves over here getting every property. Usually blessed with immortality, like what's it? Thanks Tolkien for making that lore a thing. I don't think elves were immortal in mythology, you know, they were probably just a bunch of weird little dudes. Or whatever he based them on. Did Tolkien... hold on. Because I know he created, like, he just conceptualized stuff. He literally did invent elves. That dude's crazy. Or the idea of elves as they were in, you know, in fantasy. That dude created so much. And then there's some other people that are like, actually the Norse made the Alfar, and it's like, yeah, I guess that's true, but like, that's not the same exactly. I know he didn't invent elves, but he did make the version that we associate with modern day fantasy, which is nuts. He was onto something. He might have had a few good ideas in there. Alright, let's flip this and see what it looked like when flipped. See, this is what I'm talking about. This line right here, slightly to the right, which is an issue. An image. I will look at it. Oh yeah, there we go. Yes, he invented the elves that appear in Lord of the Rings. The people of the Hobbit, prior to Lord of the Rings, elves did appear in folklore, but they were little mischief idiots, not stately rulers. I might have paraphrased a little bit. Whoops, those are my references. He also invented orcs. Guy did a lot. He did. He was over here just inventing languages because he could. And all the Konglang people, that's what I've learned the community for making fictional languages is. They all respect him, because of course they do. He was an actual linguist. So, of course he knew how to make a language that seemed convincing in a fantasy world. Just basically did everything right. I think this is gonna have to be as good as we get for this. Oh yeah, they all work. You can speak them if you learn them. I know, it's great. Alright, I need some reference for armor. Suit of armor. Back view. I hope I don't get some weird results, like from World of Warcraft. There are college courses on learning Tolkien's setting. That's pretty nuts. I should have taken one of those. Probably do me more good than my other courses have done so far. Is this a real man or a 3D model? No, that's a real guy. He's wearing jeans though, so I'm not going to use that. It's like a specialty of study. What about this suit of armor? This kind of looks like what I got going on here. Okay. I should really merge all these. Now that I have a shape I'm good with. Is that a goblin? That is one complete goblin. Now we can do this. Let's see if those clothing studies even helped a little bit. What does he got? He's got tension points around the knee. He's got like it's like a pipe full, but also like a bit of a half lot because of just how knees are. So it's like twisted. I see. See how we can do this. Probably would benefit from just shrinking my brush ever, but I won't. More images, you say I shall be. An introduction to Tolkien's Mythology. You're not joking. This is at freaking Oxford. The program details. Seminars meet each weekday morning with afternoons free for course-related field trips. The heck are they doing? We're going to New Zealand, everyone. I was just trying to see how many credit hours this is. It's almost like when someone spends 33 years of their life developing a single setting. It's worth looking into, maybe just a little bit. That may or may not be, you know, the pinnacle of world building if you're into that sort of thing. And then even after he made that book, because Lord of the Rings was supposed to be a single book, it was just too long and the publisher was like, no, 3's good. Actually, you're gonna need to space that out a bit. He just went back and made a Bible for that world anyway. You know, Twitch said they're gonna change their VOD storage to 7 days in September. I feel like I looked back at my saved videos and it feels like I already only have 7 days as opposed to the 14. Unless that notification is outdated. Was that September of last year? Really, that's a bummer. I know. You only get 7 days of VODs, unless you're like a turbo member or partner or something. Being reduced to 7 day. Okay, so that was in 2022. That I thought that was September of this year, so it already happened, and I was wondering. So yeah, 7 days, not a lot. So if you want to keep your streams, I guess you gotta highlight all of them now, or you know, export them to YouTube like immediately. Just another good decision from the people over at Twitch headquarters. And then So after I make this end screen, I think I only got a couple assets left in the traditional streamer asset pack. I think I got a BRB screen, and I got the About section panels. I don't have any of those yet. And once I make those, I can probably start working on other stuff that is not stream related, because the overlay is definitely optional. Yeah, you're schmoovin'. I think it's going pretty swift. I do think it's funny that the first one I worked on was the offline banner, which is the one that no one ever sees. And it's the one I probably put the most effort into so far. What is your boots look like? Oh, you're pointed. Do I like the pointed? I kind of do. Kind of looks funny. Little pointed shoe. What benefit does this have? Yeah, in the field. Is that a weapon? Is this for weapon purposes? Have a slightly longer startup. Yeah, that's true. That looks ridiculous. There's no way. What part? Look at this. Hold on, I gotta go here. What is this little spur here for? This little scorpion tail looking thing. This is for horsies, I know that. But what is this one? This little pointed divot right here. Probably for kicking. That's messed up. We are now about to embark on a spirit quest. Hope you're sitting down. What do these look like? I wish pictures of armor weren't so blurry. Now, apparently it's supposed to act like a cone and make it easier for a knight to catch their foot in the saddle stirrup. That makes more sense. So it's also for horses. A lot of horse-centric armor design makes sense. It's all for the horsies. This here, the back here, it's so that when you're sitting, the fact that there's no armor plating on the back, not for mobility. It's actually so that when you sit upon the horse, it's more comfortable for the horse. True fact. Doors are indeed bottoms here in multiplayer. Okay, cool. I'll just high-five you over here on the sidelines as we get eviscerated by some blood demon horde or something. Yeah, Korn is up there. I figured someone called the Blood Demon Horde would be top tier. They're nasty fucks. I hate them. I think I've encountered them only a couple times and I don't like them. Have I encountered them or am I thinking of other people? I think I've encountered them a couple times. You know what I have? Because one of their freaking heroes keeps walking up to me on his horse and wounding me like an anus. I have to knock him out like every other round. I hate that guy. His name's like Kangas or something. I don't like him. I think the prologue is against Tzeentch. I know there's a fact that I've seen at least one like disciple of Khorne or whatever walk up to me and start wounding my heroes. Unless it was the other things you were doing. I definitely saw one at least. He's freaking annoying. I did see the Tzeentch though. That guy was making me upset. I'm just trying to take over the world for my god, and he's just walking over to me and stabbing one of my heroes in the liver every 5 seconds. It's like, I need him. He's my only healer. Just want to find the bear with the boys. I know. And then one of my boys is like, "Are you sure we should be using all this magic we're finding?" And I'm like, shut up, dude. Trust me. I know the god is talking to me, dude. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know why he's not talking to you. He's only talking to me. Maybe you should have prayed a little harder. I'm a prince, idiot. Bear says magic, so magic we will bear. We're gonna wield that dark sword. And it will do minimal stuff in combat. I'm not sure I'm using it right, but it does have an effect, and I use it in combat, and it feels weak. But we've been over this. We probably just don't know how to use half of the mechanics of the game. Like bear sleds? How do you do that? Do you just keep them moving around the map the whole time? Yeah, I have used that. I get nervous to click on. So you said your fights go well until your cavalry dies. How are you even using your cavalry? Because I'm pretty sure I'm using them wrong. Please give me a rundown of how to even have an effective cavalry unit. I don't think I have one. My main strategy so far has been to just shut up. Has been to shut up. No, it's been to set up a front line of infantry guys with spears and swords, and then just have like a whole horde of people use just ranged attacks all at once. And hopefully we don't die. So far I've been going pretty well. But I can't vouch for the future. I don't like this. I gotta fix this. I also need another belt. Another pants belt, if you will. And I will. Yeah, well enough. I mean, I feel like my cavalry just die once they're deep into a flank. Or I lose track of them, and the enemy cavalry seems to cut them down like toddlers in a hockey game. The enemy cavalry is scary. It's scary because the AI clearly knows how to use charge attacks, or use charges to do collision damage, and I just have no idea how to do any of that. I don't know what collision attacks, what the engine quantifies as a collision attack. I'm sure it's great. I've seen enemy units get flopped around. And it looks very funny. Actually, I've seen my units get flopped around. I'm like, that looks so effective. I wish I knew how to do that to you. I think a charge just occurs if an attack action has enough room to give the unit to reach a charging speed, but I am almost, most likely, 100% wrong. Yeah, that's pretty much my consensus on any decision I make in the game so far. This mechanic probably functions this way, and so I'm not going to do it that way because that's probably wrong. guy using a warhammer. He's got like a warhammer and then a halberd on the other side. That's a pretty slick weapon there, my dude. I've been looking into warhammers, and there's really any other form of medieval combat. The warhammer was brutal. If they didn't have a halberd on this side right here, they'd have like a pick, like an actual hammer, and you would just gouge into your opponent's armor, just like kapunk right in there. And so if you weren't bludgeoning them to death with concussive weaponry, you were piercing into them anyway, as if you had a spear. And they already had a spear on this end. So those weapons were like super effective in just all scenarios. And yet there's like no documentation on how to actually use them. Open them up like Red Lobster, crack them on open. You'll get in there one way or another. Now, this leg should be placed somewhere for sure. I know that. Do I draw the belts? Probably not. Copy and flip the other leg and make changes. I don't know if I want to do that. But I will. It's probably the right call. My art purist brain hates the idea. Give him a little dainty stance. Doesn't make a good looking leg, but it skips the sketching step. Yeah. Now what if he's just tapping his foot over here? What if he's got like... He's got some bow leg disease, I don't know. Just doing a high kick maybe. Cha! Doing a little dance. It occurs to me. No focusing. I refuse. This is my stream. I can procrastinate as much as I need to. I do gotta change this foot, because I did learn when I was in college that drawing stances like this is just not... No one ever does that. No one does that. And I drew that like, oh, I need a focus emo. I gotta get to affiliate before I can even have emotes. And I don't know how to do that. I think you gotta get like 50 followers or something. And that's just like, that's out of my pay grade right now. Just the foot and the calf first. Yeah, I think these both just have to go. Let's just get them out of the way. Then we can do this. And there's so you got clothing folds that do this. I was posting for job applications today, as I do, and I saw one. Let me see if I can find that email. I applied to it just because it sounded funny, and also I could theoretically actually get it. That's always the idea. HR Consulting Works is hiring artist, Eastern/anime style, remote. So that's what I applied to today. I just thought it sounded funny, so I applied to that. Like, you can really tell someone's out of their depth when they're calling it Eastern style. I too draw in the Eastern style, trained in the Eastern ways. Land of the Sunrise is where I drew my artwork. But I've been known to draw in the style of Amine sometimes. I don't know how strict their requirements are. I don't know if they're looking for like an art germ or something. I don't know. It's a remote position, and they're saying they're looking for someone who can draw an Eastern style, so I'm not entirely sure they're going to be too picky. I don't know. Or too in the know of what they're even looking for, based on how they described it. I am something of a weeb myself. Watashi wa Zotan desu. Can I draw Miku for you? That was a test. I can't, because she's copyrighted. It's also worth to look into publishing houses that inquire about in-house artists. That is true. Let me just put that in the back burner here. I'll just put that in a tab over there. Unless they all just converted to AI art, then whatever. Yeah, that could be a thing. I'd have no way of knowing. They probably just have one guy to clean up the hands at this point. Because God knows AI just can't do this for some reason. Oh my god. It's so hard. And yeah, AI just can't seem to quite do it, can ya, AI? No? You and your dumb robot brain. When the AI overlords overtake the planet, they're going to use that clip against me, and I'm going to regret that. But for now, I'm going to gloat about how I can do that, and they can't. What else do we want to do here? I guess there's a lip. And I could probably do those about section panels off stream and off screen probably. Those probably won't take too long. Just rough them out. Probably over one of the weekends that I should be resting, quote unquote. I don't like it. That's also part of my artistic process, is doing something and then just go, nope. Undo all of that, please. I was developing the idea and I regret it. I wish no longer to have this on my screen. Now what do your gauntlets look like, mister? Your fingers are fricked up, dude. It's almost like you're not even in there. A nice song. I don't recall this one exactly. Where's this one? Does it tell me? It's one of the YouTube videos that doesn't tell me anything. It is. I just don't know where this. I'm gonna have to. Oh wait, it does. All right, what is this? 52. This is To One's Own Future. Okay. I had every finger correct except for this one. And the lengths are a little off. Why does this thumb look so normal here, but not here? This can't be how this looks. It's gonna be like here. Or is it like... I just don't know. I do know this has to be like plated on the outside though. That's how most of these gauntlets work. I gotta fix these somehow. Let's do a sketch. What is it about the original pose that is so effective? Let's hide this, no, this, no, this. There we go. Bit of a tricky one here. I think that's the idea, though, is that it's, again, more foreshortening or obscuring of the limbs in a way that is irritating for me to draw, that I have given myself. Interesting. Hmm. I think the copious amounts of acetaminophen I took, and whatever the other thing is, cough suppressant, I don't know. I think that's all starting to work out because I finally starting to feel like a normal human being again. Just can't wait for the Gatorade-like energy drink crash. Actually, that doesn't really make you crash, but you know, the Red Bull-esque energy drink crash that is about to happen in a few hours when it all comes back because I can't feel my fingers or lips. I can see sounds now, which is neat. I don't think that's normal, but it's a cool side effect. And I heard what sounded like an explosion coming from roughly the direction of my liver, so I don't know for sure if everything's going alright down there. Why your fingers all overextended? I think they would be more like this. That's probably better. I think this is a good approximation of the pose that I walked. So we're gonna deal with it. Dude's got one heck of a thigh gap though. Not intentional. Like the knight over here, he's pretty, he's pretty filled out, I don't mean to be crass or anything. Also, what does sword scabbards look like? Sword scabbard. Pretty much exactly what you expect them to be. From the waist down area that I need to look at it from. Where did I put that? I put that right there. Has it only been an hour? I must be feeling more sick than I thought. Last time I thought like 2.5 hours had elapsed and it was only been an hour. It was that one stream that I completely just was delirious in. And I ended after an hour and a half because I was like, this is not, I should not have done anything today. But I did. Yeah, this looks like a dude. He's wearing armor and stuff. If you had to guess from a distance, that's probably what you would say. That's all I really need to convey with this piece here. It looks like a dude in some armor. You're right. That's exactly what it is. It's just too much. There is such a thing as too much detail, I think, in this particular art style that I've chosen for these images. So we've got our guy, and we've got our other guy. Ambiguous other guy. I think the comp needs a bit of work. Oh yeah, where's your other? There's your leg. Got your leg. There you go. You can have it back. Move him over here. And then we'll do like little white little triangular doodads to indicate, oh, there was a thing there, and it's not there no more. I don't know if I should include his other arm doing something, I don't know. Probably not. It could be up there doing something. It could be resting on top of the sword hilt, so that I don't have to draw anything else. That could be it. As long as you can explain why you didn't draw something, then people are usually okay with it. Alright, so we have to open up my background yet again. Oh look, I already have all the stuff turned off. Perfect. You can just color pick that. Oh, that's a spoiler for my YouTube. Don't look. No one look. I should have the perspective tool open. Yeah, I really should just put the perspective tool on. Let's do that. So that I can get the... I don't even know what perspective I'm even looking at right now. Guess that's why we figured out. New. See if I can even remember how to use this thing. You can do like this and this. No. That ain't right. This is horribly inaccurate. I gotta open my offline banner so that I remember what I'm doing. Where you at? There it is. Okay, so what did I do? There's 2 lines over here, and there's 2 lines over here. Okay, I think I understand. You do a line of perspective, Oh, and then it just does it automatically. Okay, and then you can do that. Well, that's not right either. Why did that one happen? Why does it keep doing that? That's better. If you figure the horizon line for the end of the hall, it'll tell you a lot. Just, where do you want the floor to stop? Good call. Let's see if I can, I knew what I was doing at some point, and now I no longer know what I'm doing. Ah, there we go. The grid. Yeah. What? I love doing this. I was thinking about like here, right? That looks like a. That looks right. I'm in the Matrix. And it's hurting my eyes a little bit. I'm sure this is really good for the Twitch bitrate too. I'm sure this process is real nice. Oops, what did I do? Created a layer mask in a fraction of a second on accident. So this is interesting because it's like you got the things in 1 point perspective and also the things in 2-point perspective. Maybe I should have just done 1 point perspective. Either way, we want this to be here. Consider a few things. How tall is the goblin do compared to the guard? With the camera need to be to show the angle you're drawing. How steep of an angle are we seeing the floor at? Where did I put this dang old tool? Alright, let's do this. Maybe I should hide this, make it easier. And this one. Okay. Now, let's just maneuver it. Until it feels right. Because if we look here, oh god, I gotta hide this. I propose the guard would be probably about this big of a dude. He's a unit compared to this little idiot. Dummy, you're in jail, idiot. Okay, so probably about this tall, which is about. We're gonna put this guy here. Down here with him. Maybe a little bigger for perspective. It's about waist high. Here. That looks, no, we're not gonna ignore that. So I think this is about the right one. Maybe about like up here. If I were to move him back. Let's see if we can imagine the grid space. If he were standing, he would be about... maybe about here? No, maybe down here. Maybe, I don't know. Hard to say. I think he'd be about here in this grid space tile. And these about 1 square here, 1 here. I think that's a convincing placement based on my estimate here. He's got... I will need to do this though. Oh, that's that color now. You do have a lateral line decided for E with the guard's foot as well. Toe to heel should rest on respective lines as the foot is flat on the floor. Yeah, I did notice that. I don't know exactly. Toe to heel on the perspective line. Yeah, that is there. Hey, look, it's already worked out actually. I didn't even mean to. So let's and then this one is kind of like, even if you were to, since it would be below this line here, the horizon line. Lower your horizon just a tad. Yeah, that does look to be about right, because this would be... like, I hate drawing this. There. Excuse me. Thank you. This one right here. It would have to be more like, you know, presented as such. From what I'm seeing. No, I think you're right. Let's see what we got. Where's the object tool? Also, I need to erase this now. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. I gotta say, I'm giving myself some tough shots here for these assets that I'm gonna be using for about 5 minutes per stream at most. I got a 2-point, 1-point perspective split here. Bit of a low angle, but not quite a low angle to the point where you can just exaggerate it. It'll all pay off. I freaking animated a shot. I don't animate in a software that I never use. What am I doing? I'll notice you'll have been here for the whole thing. And you'll be able to appreciate how dumb I was in choosing a workflow. So let's get rid of this so I can just have a clean slate. You know what's annoying is you can't like draw on the horizon line. Like it's always on one of the 2-point perspective lines, so you have to like how do I do that? I just have to remember. Alright, I guess I'll just put a point right here where the horizon is. Okay. No, but that also hide the ruler. Okay. Okay. My new ruler. You gotta be almost done with this Xenoblade playlist, right? Oh, what the heck? When did we get to Zelda music? I didn't even touch anything. We've been on Zelda music for 11 minutes. Did I have autoplay turned on? Autoplay is on. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what the heck? I didn't even have to swap over now. The rope. I freaking hate him. Now this jail cell door, I could just make it in perspective and make my life easier. It would have to be pretty wide though if it were like that. You know, sure. No, that's not what I want to do. Man, it's so hard to picture the end of a corridor. Let me try it. Let me get some reference. See what they do here. So they go like a. Because I'm gonna try not to tangent here. This guard is in a really peculiar spot. Floor probably transitions into cobblestone about here. Then I got the walls to worry about. This is the hard part. Once we get this done, the rendering will be a million times easier, which is not something that normally happens, but I don't know what it is about this piece in particular. The planning seems to be going a little bit roughly. Let's open the offline banner again. I don't know why I closed it. Oh, I've done perspective on accident. Oh no. Now this is on the wrong layer. Alright, I think we have a semblance of an idea. I might just need to make a separate perspective ruler that is just the 1 point. Considering I'm using a bit of 2 and 1 for some reason. What is this? Oh, that's just a missing piece of this. Let's just do the old 1 point perspective. Is that how you do 1 point perspective in this? Looks like it. Perfect, okay. Let's move this above everything. Just giving myself a bunch of lines to work from. See what I like best. So the brick wall needs to be pretty thick. How thick did I make it? Pretty thick. Okay. Maybe about, in perspective, it would probably be about that. But then I tangent again, and I hate doing that. I'll have to move the guard again. Okay. Actually, it'd probably be thinner than that. I remember that you have to exaggerate the foreshortening in perspective, because if you were to lengthen it out, it would probably look way wider than you expected to. So this might actually be more correct. The jail cell was pretty wide, so I think here it would be pretty good. Jail cell bars would probably start around there. It's going to be a midpoint. Alright, something's coming together. The planning is paying off. I do need to rectangulate about this much. Whoa, I didn't... You see that? Yo! I didn't know it did that. The rectangle tool conforms to your perspective. What the heck, brother? I had no idea. Why doesn't anyone tell me these things? Yeah, look at that, it does a vertical too. That's so sick. I wish I knew these things. It's one steep tangle. Delete. Why is this not working? I guess I could just move you down. And then we'll fill it in with the right color. Sorry, gotta hide the friggin'. Get out of here. Missy. It's a tank, steep Drangle tangle. Oh, putting all sorts of angles in this tangle. Okay, I'm not helping anymore. I'll be quiet. What color do I... Would it be brighter? Yes, it would be. No, don't yawn, you fool. You idiot. You're not allowed to do that? Anyone ever tell you it's rude to yawn? It's not. No one ever told me that. But I need to psych myself somehow. I need to put this color here, and then I need to go back here, and I need to do this. Blue. Ugh. Cause the light is outside the jail, cause jail cells are dingy and grody. At least in fantasy world. Sometimes in real world. Thanks to Dick Cheney, I'm sure. That freaking guy. Now actually, I'm thinking, I just thought for a second I did that. Sometimes I do that, and I just did it right then. In the orientation of this jail cell, I have sort of implied that there would be like a row. You know, like a row of cells going down this horizontal here. Always blaming Richard, I can't help it. So this would not be like leading into a long corridor, this over here. It would actually probably just abruptly stop at a hallway, like a few feet across, and there might be like a few other indications of jail cells. Like over here. Like that might, and then like the torches at this part. So that might be what we're actually supposed to be doing. In fact, it makes more sense now that I even sketched it out for half a second. Like a whole block of them, exactly. Just because we are viewing it as the horizontal, so there's no corridor going deep into there. That would be a different perspective. Unless this was some really weirdly oriented... I was the only jail cell on, like the cul-de-sac of jail cells. I was the one looking down the corridor. And I don't think that's how I'm gonna make it. What's that one jail concept where it's like an eye watching over an entire circular orientation of prison cells? I used to know this. I'll remember. It'll come into my brain at some point. The Panopticon, there it is. Right into my head, there, lightning. A little painful. A lot of smoke. I should have drawn this on a different layer. Well, too late now. Gotta do it over again. Okay, so I'm glad we sorted that out mentally, because otherwise I would have been over here drawing a corridor, then finishing it, and then being like, why does this prison seem so strange? It's because nobody designs a prison that way. And I think just for visual clarity, I will move these over, so that the bars are not obstructing, creating detail behind where the keys are supposed to be, or the lack of keys are going to be. Now we gotta figure out this. How thick does this look from the top? That'll be better. Whoops. Yeah, I think we got something going. My one problem is I gotta figure out how to do this freaking jail cell. Do I have continuity? No, it actually opens on the other side. Wait, no, if I flip it, yeah, it's on this side. Okay, unfortunately, I do have to draw it because it's over here, canonically. I almost got myself out of that. But I do have to draw the jail cell door. Unfortunately. Just steal this color. It's mine now. It was always mine, but now it's mine again. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because it can be... It's on a hinge, right? So it can be in any orientation. I didn't make one of those, you almost sneak your way out of it. Like the Slippery Art Skink, I didn't quite think my way ahead. You know, the pattern here is I'm not thinking ahead. And that's really just about it. Wait, did I hide the... I did hide the ruler. This one, so I can like, I should really just make this into plan this out like this. Like what? It's gonna be so short is the thing, because of foreshortening. And also, this is not. I hate it. Planning is so hard, dude. I should just be wide. Maybe it should just be in perspective with this. How many bars wide is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy. 1, 2, 3. Vertical. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can do 6 on the end. And that would be kind of what it looks like. Would it really swing out halfway into the hallway though? I don't know. That's my issue. Transform, distort. That's why we do this. Is this good enough? They would be wider, but this is just, I'm trying to get this general blocked out shape here. And also the keys again. I might just move the guard over a bit more. Actually, this is one of the few pieces I've done where I can't wait to just get to the rendering already. It'd be so much easier than whatever the heck I'm doing right now. Okay, so let's grab ourselves a little bit of a brick color here. This is probably the least affected area of the whole thing. Yeah, this area. Oop. We will fix the values later. When have I ever not fixed the values? Yeah, I think we're piecing something together. What are the values like in here? Let's open up the actual CSP file. Okay. Now we can hide all this. Oh, just the one is good, really? Then we can pick this. That is the inside of a jail cell. Where did I put the white lines, please? Someone tell me. You legally have to. Oh god, I've lost them. I better not have put them on a layer that I am using. Okay, no, they're right there. Okay. It's coming together. Whoops, that's not what you want to do. I always forget where I put these. There you go. And then actually... Who's emailing me? Get out of here. I think I need a little bit of this. Oh, and then we can actually just do this. I am alerting. Perfect. Then we can do this. Now that recedes in there, about as much as I need it to. Let's go back to floor. Actually, you know what I think we can do? I think we can flat in the character. The character colors. So that I can have a more grounded approach as to where to put them. just gotta find out where they are. That's the guard. You know what? We're gonna rename you so I know where you are. There's the guard. This is me, probably. Yep, this is why we have to. Okay, that's me. I have a perspective tool on me for some reason. Flotan. That's my rap name. I should have spelled it the other way. That would have made more sense if I did it that way. I know there's this thing that people use, the fill bucket tool. I just can't get behind it. I don't think this, these pencil brushes would make it even, you know, I don't think they would help the situation. Because they just require so much cleanup on their own to make things not look stupid. Also, turns out, Stream Jam's playlist copyrighted stuff in there. Should have known that it would get ID'd. I mean, probably all of it is copyrighted. Just you know, it doesn't get content ID'd, depending on what you use. I should have known though. I was a little surprised, but I shouldn't have been in retrospect. Some of the copyrighted stuff that got flagged in some of the stuff I've been looking at in the VODs and muted and stuff is just the classical music stuff, just, you know, the actual composers, because those the people who do the recordings for those, very litigious it might be, you know, it seems anyway. Yeah, that song may have been written 4,000 years ago, but we're gonna make a dime off of it. We recorded it, didn't we? That's our song, for all intents and purposes, legally speaking. Public domain be darned. BRB, no problem. There we've got, well, we have the base, I don't even know what you call this, it's not the flats, it's the step before the flats. The Rascal Flats is what I'll call them. We got the Rascal Flats in, now we're gonna get the actual flats in. So let's bink it, let's skink it over here. Well, that looks bad. That's why we do these. Now this is first. There's a large eraser. Why are you so large? I do not require an eraser that's large at this moment. That is. I think we just code that in, but like good this time. Not quite the level of goodness I was anticipating. Let's see. think we need to do a bit of this. Clean up the facial hair, something I never do in real life. I don't got a job. I don't gotta please no one. My beard looks like... it looks ridiculous, is what I'll say. On its best days. It's generous even calling it a beard, really. Pretty similar to the situation that this guy's got going on here, but it's not quite the goatee. I got some stuff around here. And it's also not nearly as pointy. That would be pretty sick, though. Also got him. I'm not pulling the Abraham Lincoln. I don't just got the... Although mine doesn't really go down like that. I just kind of got one along the upper lip. And then I got this. That's what I got. Also different color. Now I got black hair. I don't have green skin. There's a lot of inaccuracies here when you try to compare me to a goblin version of myself. Also, not in jail. Another difference between me and my goblin avatar. Not in jail yet. Get out of here, Ordon Village. I hate this song. I don't hate this song, but I hate this song, you know? Just reminds me of the most boring hour of my life. I would rather sit in line at the DMV than play through the first hour of Twilight Princess again. That's not true, but it does make me feel that way sometimes. Luckily, after the first hour of Twilight Princess, it kicks it into gear pretty freaking quick. It goes nuts. Dudes start coming out of nowhere, spoiler, it's in like the first hour, they start whacking you with clubs. Yeah, they kidnapped freaking Colin for some reason. It's like, why would you even want him? You can keep him, I don't want to save him. Fortunately, the game's main story makes me, but I don't know. If I had the choice, I don't know if I would. Save Senor Bullcut. I mean, it's not like the game even needs him, really. What does he do? He's like the damsel in distress. For like a second. Oh. Even though he's a dude, I know this. Yeah. Okay. We've got some flats. We do need to flatten the guards' colors. Also do need to draw my bloodshot eyes, because I think they would be visible in this one. Oh, I am yawning a lot. Good thing I only got like a, 10-15 more minutes. Should do that. I can stick it out for that much longer. It ain't that bad. Then I can go die for a couple hours, come back. To the realm of the living, all refreshed and stuff. This needs to be dark. Darker pants. I must have clicked on something wrong on Twitter, because I used to just get recommended pictures of well-endowed anime ladies in my, you know, just as notifications. But now I keep getting just all sorts of drama that I do not care about. I don't even click on it, I see it show up on my phone and the push notifications, and I'm like, I'm not gonna click on that. That looked like it was annoying. It probably is. Sorry, I'm not gonna tap on that. Boomers click on stuff. Zoomers tap on things, that's how it goes. Okay, welcome back. Just monologuing to myself. Ordered food, what'd you get? I haven't eaten at all today. I woke up at like... When did I wake up? 2? No, that's impossible, because I start streaming at 1. Probably like 11:30. You're gonna be impressed. I bet I will be. I bet it's gonna be so... It's gonna subvert my expectations. Ryan Johnson levels. I got Taco Bell. Wow, I actually am impressed at the subversion. It's not a sandwich. That's different than what I expected. You freaking got me. Living large over here. Ladies, would you like something from Taco Bell? We don't even have to use the dollar menu. Do they have a dollar menu? I don't know. They do. Kind of. They have a dollar cravings menu, whatever that means. What color should these gloves be? I guess we can try out both options. That's that. We can try the brown. I think I like the black or the gray better. We'll do that. The cooler tone, I think. And it seems like it's more appropriate with the uniform. This can be more gray and darker. because it's chainmail, sort of. I'll have to figure out what to color that part. Then darker. Again. No, you gotta freaking lock the transparency, don't you? Darker? No. Should this be brighter? What does the armor look like in the photos? That looks darker, but that could just be light. I think it is the same material. I don't think they painted this armor set. Personally, I don't think that's what it... But the way it catches light does make it appear darker, so we can take that into account anyway. Oh yeah, I need my, doink, donk, bink, bonk. Where is it? Let's look up here. Perfect. Wait. Too small. Bigger. There we go. Actually, they're both pretty small, I think. This is important. My transparency. You know, it always seems to go this way on my stream. At least for me, anyway. I always get to a point where I'm like, I'm never gonna progress. I'm not gonna get anything good done this stream. And then I look at it and I'm like, you know what? We're actually in a good spot. We've made some progress that I would deem worthwhile, worthy of keeping, and not throwing away immediately after I hit the end stream button. Unlike that one Krita stream. It is going to be deleted forever in like a day or two, so maybe it's good that Twitch reduced the storage capacity for those. We got our perspective all set up, we got the background shot in order, we got the key. I'm gonna do the little highlight. Whoa, those keys are gone. I'm gonna do that. We gotta do the values on this lad. Do I have to draw the chain over this? I probably do, right? Actually, I could just draw it behind. No, I can't draw. It's just one link I gotta draw, I think. This one can be obscured by the hand. I'm trying to skink my way out of any drawing, apparently, today. I don't know why I'm so averse to it right now. I blame the illness. I'll probably blame the illness even after it's gone. I want to draw, but I don't want to make the drawings. Yeah, I want the art to happen, but I have to, like, do it. Which sucks. Yeah, have to make an illness emo. I don't know if I'm gonna get ill that much. Maybe I'll make it like a sick emo, so it has like two purposes. It'll be like, it'll be ill, and then also sick in the radical sense of the word. Maybe I'll do that. But what were the idea? We have illness, and what was the other one? Focus, which I cannot do for more than about a goldfish amount of time. I think beginning any other step here would be running the risk of taking too long, like any value passes or something. So I think I will call it here for today. We got our flats in, we got the background, we did a lot of good stuff, I think. Where's this? Yeah, we'll have to we will have to change this font color at the very least, or something. We gotta make that stand out. Drop shadow, something. I'll figure it out. I went to graphic design school. Good progress as usual, thank you. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. I got a chat window, look at that. I'm just gonna type in there because I want to see what it looks like. There it is. You're a steady man, Zozan. I like to think so. Oh yeah, thank you, see ya. No problem. Tomorrow. Also going to be working on this, obviously. Also, well, maybe tomorrow I can do this, or I can swap to the About section panels. I might just flip-flop a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do both. Just because I apparently have a hard time focusing on one or the other. But yeah. Catch you later. And bye-bye. I'm going to do this one more time, because I like seeing it show up on the screen. There it goes. Bye!